Sure, I think that obviously it's not season one where one's coming from college and the other one's coming from a fishing trip. This is there's been a decade of story and highs and lows and poor choices made and good choices made and big victories and big losses. So there's a lot of history with this fight. I think there is a bit of a control-alt-delete when it comes to what's happening. And I'm excited about that because the brothers are not fighting for each other. They're not, Dean's not afflicted with the mark of Cain, Sam's not afflicted with demon blood. They're usually, for the last several years, it's been kind of this trying to save one another. They're fine, they're back in the car, they're motoring down the highway, and they have a common goal. And so, sure, everything that's happened in the past is going to play into that. They're still going to bicker like brothers, but at least they're not sacrificing, values or themselves for the purpose of the other one. They're doing this together, and they're fighting a common goal. That's interesting. I think it'll go back to. I think there's a comfortability there between the brothers that they just know how each other how they work. I will say that hopefully there's less secrets between the brothers this year, and they can be a little bit more have a common ground. In my opinion, that makes for both light and dark episodes. You can have the funny ones with the dramatic ones, and but I don't like the show. It's difficult. It's been something that I've had a hard time with in the past, and I still I will say it's gotten easier. I didn't realize kind of the mental state of where I was as an actor because I was just always that when I'd walk on a set. So it's never really something that I was cognizant of. But then when I had to be directing and then switch over into the acting mode, I realized that I was thinking with two different sides of my brain. And it took me a while it took me a couple of takes actually to get into the Dean mode. It's gotten a little easier. It's still not, I wouldn't say it's easy, it's just gotten easier. I think acting will always be my first love. I really I enjoy and I get inspired and I get rewarded by the challenge that is directing. I think it's I have a ton of respect for directors because it's a lot of work, and I think because of that is why I like it. I'm a glutton for punishment. Absolutely, even this year we've got a new camera. We still have the three that we've been filming on for a number of years now, but we have the Ari Mini, the Alexa Mini.
Yeah, I think I posted a photo of it.
Oh, really? Yeah. So we have the Alexa Mini. So that's not really going to change anything as far as like film quality or anything like that. It's going to make camera operating a little easier. It's 10 pounds lighter, so when you're doing a lot of these action sequences and the camera operators are holding I think these things are like 40 pounds or something on their shoulder. Well, 10 pounds is a lot, especially if you're holding that thing on your shoulder for 12 hours. So I think just what we're going to be able to do with it is going to be nice and be a little bit more mobile.
And you had that, which was amazing.
That was incredible. One of the big things that I'm using in my episode that might actually be something that we're going to start using a little bit that we didn't in the past because it was so tedious is green screen.
Oh, wow.
So we haven't done green screen. We haven't done green screen in many years. We've done it a couple times for speciality things, but we're using it actually for the Impala. Because if you notice, most of our Impala scenes are shot at night. And the outside, you see the lights going by and the highway lights and stuff, that's all simulated. practically simulated. So we've actually got guys with flashlights running down, and we created a big thing that actually doesn't require guys to run with flashlights anymore. It's like this big rotating wheel that kind of comes around. There's been other shows that have come to our set and taken pictures of our setup because they want to. But that made us always have those Impala scenes at night on the highway because that was the look that we could create. Well, this specific look that I have to create for this episode is not a highway at night. It's like dusk in town. And instead of live driving, which was one option that I was thinking of, is like stick the cameras in the back seat and have us actually drive around. I'm driving. I'm pretty good at it by now, but that was still going to be too much time consuming. So we're actually doing. I think they're rigging up a 360 GoPro thing and sticking it in the car, and then actually going to drive around with plates, and then we're going to superimpose that on the green screen. But there's a couple of shots that this effects team were like, we wouldn't have been able to do this 5 years ago. So we're implementing new technology into this episode that might start being used more throughout the season.